What up, Pokenet? In this video, we're checking out how Raging Bolt EX is still winning post-rotation. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. Uh, I thought this deck was dead as soon as Sada Vitality rotated out, but somehow it's finding traction. It's still winning. I think because of more free prize decks being out there now, this can still hit into those and find a way to be successful. So, anyways, let's go take a look. Let's dive in. Let's check out Raging Bolt and what it looks like post rotation. Um, so we got three Raging Bolt EX. Again, I've loved this attacker. It's so much fun. When it first came out, it was just so straightforward. So a lot of people who are new to Pokemon did really good with this, and it certainly made its adjustments through the last couple rotations here to still stay successful. So we got three Raging Bolt EX. Along with what it's almost always paired with, which is Teal Mask Ogerpon. So we got four Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. Again, this is great for draw power. It's also going to help us do more damage with Billowing Thunder. So that's why we're running four. The more the merrier with Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. Four of those to go along with our three Raging Bolt. Then we're also going to be running three Mega Kangaskhan EX. And this is going to help us with our draw power. It's also going to be like a secondary attacker. The fact that if we go first, we can attach and Crispin and be hitting with it. So it gives us another attacker, but we also want to use it for its draw power. And then also later on, we'll look at a couple other things that make this work really well for us. So three Kangaskhan EX and three Meowth EX. Man, we got to get again with this. We need to be getting the supporter. We need Crispin to make these attacks happen. And so to help us get that, we have three Meowth EXs to get to that with Last Ditch Catch. And it's also awesome it's in here because that's one of Parker's favorite Pokemon. So love having the Meowth EX. So we got three of them in there. Then we have two Latias EX. We have to be able to get that Kangaskhan out of the active. So the easiest way is to have a Latias EX. So I have two Latias EX. And then we have one Lily's Clefairy EX. And this is to help us with Dragapult EX. It's also going to help us with Mega Lucarios out there, right? Because this can one-shot those with the Crispin. So we have to have it in here. It's going to help us with those matchups. So one Lily's Clefairy EX. Sorry, I got the Japanese one in here because we were deck testing here. So I have the Japanese Pheasantipity. I'll get it switched out. But sometimes with some of these decks that we're testing, I just don't quite have enough of all the cards. So I have one Japanese Pheasantipity EX, but I think we all know what it does. Then we have a Chen Pao, just the basic Chen Pao, and the reason is for its ability when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may discard a Stadium and play. So we do that because we're going to be playing Area Zero Wonder Depths. We're going to have a big bench. If we need to get rid of someone that's damaged, if we need to get rid of some liabilities, Chen Pao allows us to do that. So Chen Pao comes in huge. Certainly wins matchups at times having that Chen Pao in there. So one Chen Pao, and then we have one Pashimian. I hope I say that right. And so this is because it gives us a single prize attacker, and it does 20 times for each basic Pokemon in play. So again, gives us a good attacker here. There are plenty of Pokemon out there that are weak to fighting. So if we're going up against the Mega Kangaskhan ourselves, or even a Meowth EX or something we need to knock out that's weak to fighting. This gives us a great way to do that again, being able to use Crispin to get it fired up in one turn. So that's our single prize attacker in that deck. So that's what we have for Pokemon. There are some people that are running this with um, the Noctowl engine instead. Um, Part of the reason I like this one though is I think it's a slightly easier to get into, a little more consistent. The Meowth EX comes in big. I know it's certainly a liability at 170 HP, but if your opponent's going after the Meowth, we keep all of our power to knock them out too. So that's why I'm not as worried if we have some of them in there. And again, we're hoping we can get stuff off the bench at some point if we need to with the Chen Pao. So that's what we got going Pokemon wise in this deck. And we talked about it. We need Crispins. We're running 4 of them because that's what we definitely need to use for almost all of our attackers to get them fired up. So we're running 4 Crispins in hopes that we can get going fast. Either get Raging Bolt or Mega Kangaskhan up if we need to be our attackers. So then we got 2 Boss's Orders. Again, a lot of times we got to get the right thing in the active to knock it out. So 2 Boss's Orders, 1 Lily's Determination. We don't want to have to be using this often, but there are times we just need a new hand, and Lily's Determination is a great way to help with that. And then 1 Cyrano. Again, this helps get us almost every one of our Pokemon outside of 2, where you get to search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon EXs. So this really comes in handy, especially early on if you're not able to Crispin and you need a better board state. Cyrano helps us get to that point. So 1 of those. And then for our items, we got 4 Ultra Balls. Again, this is the best way now to get to our EX Pokemon. Now that we've lost Nest Ball, so we're running 4 of the Ultra Balls to help us get to the Pokemon we need. We're running 2 bug catching sets again to help us not only get to Tiamat's Ogerpon but to grass energies, which we're going to need. So we got 2 of those, which I think is a huge inclusion, helps this deck run better. Another thing I love with this is this Glass Trumpet. Again, being able to attach energies from our discard pile to our benched colorless Pokemon, as long as we have, in this case, a Terra Pokemon, which is Tiamat's Ogerpon in play. This comes in huge, especially when we're trying to hit into big time Pokemon, these 3 prizers. Sometimes we need more energy on board, and this is what helps us do that. So I like having 2. Pretty often there's only 1 in a lot of these, but I like 2. I like having 2, especially without having the Noctowl line. It gives us an easier chance of getting to it. And then we're running 2 E-Switch. Again, part of this is because we can use Glass Trumpet and then Energy Switch one of those onto one of our attackers. So Energy Switch, we got 2 of those to help us out with that. Then we're running 2 Night Stretchers, be able to get whatever we need out of the discard pile as far as energy or Pokemon, basic energy. 1 Energy Retrieval. Again, this is huge, especially if we need to keep drawing with Ogerpon. So we got 1 of those. And then 3 Area 0 Underdepths. Again, we want to get our bench up high, big number-wise. This allows us to use these 3 Meowths pretty often. So we're running 3 Area 0 Underdepths. Our A-Spec, which this is pretty common within this deck, is going to be Prime Catcher. So that's been a great A-Spec to run with Raging Bolt. Helps us get Raging Bolt out of the active if needed. Get the right Pokemon in there for us to attack. So that's going to be big, having Prime Catcher to help us with that. And then for energies, I think we got 8 grass energy. Let me make sure here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think again that's a pretty normal number to be running with Raging Bolt Ogerpon. I think eight grass has kind of been the norm for a while, and I think that's a great number to have. So we're running 8 of those. One of them is my favorite hollow energies there are with these. Um, oh, what are these? The crystal glass crystal or something like that. What are these? Let me know in the comments. I can't remember. What do we call these ones? Broken shards. Heck, I can't remember. Um, I love the way that one looks. One of my favorite energies for sure. So we got some of those in here. Then we're running 4 of the lightning energy. So we got 4 of those. Again, that's what we need to help get Ogerpon fighting. Then we got 3 fighting energy and 1 psychic energy, and that's in here just so we can attack with Lily's Clefairy. Although we can attach it to Mega Kangaskhan if we need to. So that's what we got going here with this deck. I've tested this out, played multiple different things. I think outside of playing single prize decks, I mean, because those are going to be that's always been a trouble for Raging Bolt. I think this is a great way to play it post rotation. I think because so many of us have played a lot of Raging Bolt, we know how this deck is supposed to run, even though this is slightly different. It's not too dissimilar to what we've been used to. So this is the 60 I got chosen for Raging Bolt right now. Again, other things is maybe switching out Meowths and Mega Kangaskhan and going with the Noctowl line. Other inclusions are going with the Baby Raging Bolt. Um, I don't know if I love that one as much post rotation, even though there are a lot of evolution decks. I just think it's a little more clunky to have to work with. Other things is still running other grass attackers. So a lot of people are still running Iron Leaves within this deck. I don't think I needed to, so that's why it's not included. So those are a few things to look at and switch in and out. I have seen people run an unfair stamp instead of prime catcher. So maybe adding in a different boss's order, like one more boss's orders or something like that. Like I said, I think you got wiggle room with glass trumpet or energy switch. But I like having two, so I can get different ways of attaching to our Pokemon. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think. Is Raging Bolt something you want to try to play post rotation? Are you bummed after losing Sada Vitality? I mean, heck, this deck was so much fun to play before rotation, but there's still decks out there winning and winning a lot. Most of them are running it with the Mega Kangaskhan Meowth in Japan right now. So, anyways, thank you guys for checking it out. Otherwise, let's have a Poketastic day.